any healthy relationship, there's a work to be done. And not just the work. I hear people say things like, okay, that in marriage, that is a woman that really determines the success of a marriage. No, that's not true. That is not true because, okay, in marriage, rather, or let me just say in a relationship, one person might want to work on the relationship and the other one does not. So that means in that kind of scenario, the effort will be taunted because the other person is trying to make a move and the other person is not even helping. So both the male and the female are the ones that make the relationship work. Yes. Can you guys imagine that this is like the third time I'm virtually recording this video, only to find out that the audio wasn't up? Man, wow. Let me just pause and check that this one is actually up so I don't get to do it like the third time without no audio. So hi guys, what's up and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emeodoro. If this is your first time, welcome. Well, don't make it your last. Ensure before you leave, you click on the red subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. If not, you're missing out content. And one thing we do is when you get to like the video, you help with the Facebook algorithm so that other women, other people can also get to learn about the amazing content I'm going to upload in today's video. So who go into marriage with so many expectations, with fairy tale, with unrealistic, with fictional unrealities like Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, and they also feel that that is actually how the reality is. Christ, I've been in years for officially 8 years in marriage now, and it's not the same. Like those things we watch in the movies, I mean, it's not the same. It's not the same reality. Okay, so guys, on today's video, we're going to debunk myths that people have about in marriage, because people feel that like getting married, like people have something like, oh, imagine that when we were growing up as a child, we always like look forward to when we're going to have our Prince Charming. We'll say, okay, we want a man to be tall, wanting him to be handsome, and we feel that marriage is one fairy tale that, oh, every girl needs to fall in love with and blah blah blah. But is really that the reality? No, it's not the reality. So guys, welcome and welcome. So let's just get right into the video. But when people think that getting into a relationship is going to be healthy, no, it's not. It's hard work. I mean, there's basically nothing in this world that you do that doesn't determine hard work. Even like this video I'm shooting right now, like I had to like, okay, this is like the fourth time I'm recording this video. The first time I recorded it, I didn't know that the audio wasn't up. I did it again, the same thing. I noticed that I didn't know that my mic was down, the battery was down. So I did it for like 3 times. And then if like some people would have given us, what kind of thing is, will I stress myself like that for that much time? And then always to find out that the audio was, so maybe they would have just not wanted to do the video again today. That kind of a thing. So even in marriage, there's a price to be paid, there's work to be done. So people feel like relationship will come natural if they're meant to be together. No, there is hard work. You need to work. Even okay, now let's say you're hungry, for instance. Won't you go to the market? I need to like, I'm going to try as much as possible to make this video as realistic as possible. Okay, you're not just gonna, like, even though I have a book, like I have a book of the things I wrote, okay, like the topics, the heading that I want, but I want it to be as realistic as it can be. Okay, so even if you're hungry now, won't you go to the market? You go to the market. In short, first of all, the first thing is you're hungry, your stomach is saying that you're hungry, right? And then you get a pen and paper, then you make a list of the things you want to go and buy in the market. Then you go to the market and you go around, you buy, maybe you want to cook soup, let's say okra, for instance, you buy your protein, you buy your okra, and then you come back home and come and do the cooking, go through the process. So there's work to be done. Any healthy relationship, there's a work to be done. And not just the work. I hear people say things like, okay, that in marriage, that is a woman that really determines the success of a marriage. No, that's not true. That is not true because, okay, in marriage, rather, or let me just say in a relationship, one person might want to work on the relationship and the other one does not. So that means in that kind of scenario, the effort will be taunted because the other person is trying to make a move and the other person is not even helping. So both the male and the female are the ones that make the relationship work. Yes, because even as much as, yeah, although I feel in some way that although women have kind of work to do, more work like to do, but basically the man also has a part to play. So things will not just come natural. And when people begin to say that things don't come natural, they will feel, maybe this marriage was not meant to be, and all that. They begin to have so many funny ideas. So it's really not the case. Everybody has a part to play. The man has a part to play, and the woman has a part to play for the relationship to be healthy, to be easy. Yes. So if you guys actually want your relationship to grow and thrive, you guys have to be active. You both have to be actively involved in the marriage. Yes, that's the way to go. And that's the reality. Number 2 myth is soulmates feel that the other partner or that your spouse should be able to read your mind. Hey God, like seriously, are you guys for real? Hey, by the time you guys get married, the real world, you guys have like so many responsibilities. You're thinking of like even the fact that you guys come from different backgrounds, coming to live together alone, and you expect someone to read your mind. Hey Jesus, not because you guys fall in love and you feel that okay, the other partner should be able to read your mind because he or she loves you. No. You will just be, you will feel so idle in the marriage. Nobody reads any mind. Whatever you want, you have to voice it out. You have to be more vocal. Do you understand? In as much as you love somebody, don't think that, or maybe the person is maybe a prophetess or a prophet. Then maybe the whole school will have an and say, oh, your wife is feeling like this. Oh, your husband is then, you know, that kind of thing. But if not, falling in love doesn't mean that your partner has the ability of like reading your mind. It's not the case. You have to be vocal. Say what you want. Say what you don't want. Like literally, you need to communicate. Yes, so that's the reality. The bottom line is that, like, if you actually want your partner to read your mind, you'll be setting yourself up for disappointment because it's not going to happen. For all you know, that maybe your partner must have gone out the day and had a bad day and come back to work. Come back to you, and maybe he's trying to like get over what happened, the bad experience, a bad encounter, or maybe he lost a contract or one thing or the other, and then you feel that he has to come and read your mind. Who does that? Where does it happen? In Nigeria? Hey, it's well low. Nobody does that. So you just have to be real. You have to be real. You need to communicate. Say what you want. Say what you don't want. Say how you feel. Like be more vocal. Yeah. Number 3, couples feel that romance never dies. It dies though. Like seriously. In the reality, it dies because when you guys get comfortable with each other, you sleep together on the same bed, you eat the same food, you guys get so comfortable. And especially for men usually like get carried away with this. They feel that okay, after all, I don't marry you, I've gotten married to you, so what else? Like, I mean, what else? You're officially the one wearing the ring. So I mean, what more could you want? What could be your worry? So when partners get so comfortable, it becomes a problem. Do you understand? So you might romance might die, like, you know, but for me, I'm always like on my toes, like, oh, always want to like, you know, like always wanting to like, I don't get comfortable. Let me just say that I don't get comfortable. I'm always trying, because the thing with getting comfortable is that if you get comfortable, you won't want to grow. You'll be at the same spot. You'll be at the same level. But by the time you're always constantly like, constantly trying to be better, you know, trying to like make yourself better, make your relationship better, you'll be on your toes, and that way romance will not die. Because if you get comfortable and say, after all, I don't marry him now. We have kids now. We're married for 2 years, married for 3 years. So what is it? What is the romance all about? He's my husband, he's my wife. No, you have to be on your toes, irrespective of how many years you guys have gotten married to. So don't get comfortable. But you know one thing I've discovered, that like being playful with your partner, you know, have fun, that kind of can always bring spark into the relationship, you know, irrespective of how many years you guys have gotten married to each other. Number 4, the couples don't fight. Says who? Hey, as in seriously, you guys have different idiosyncrasies. You have different backgrounds. Do you understand? And then who says you don't fight? Like we fight, or like no husband, we fight. Not fight like physical fight, where like maybe we have an argument and we don't agree on this one, or this one doesn't agree on this one. You know, we kind of fight, not that, but it's a healthy conversation. Like, okay, he might say his own stand about a particular thing, I say mine, but that doesn't mean that like we are not going to argue. We'll definitely will argue, but how do we even live ourselves if we're just like agreeing on everything? Yes, and then there's no. I mean, the relationship, the marriage will be boring now. It's so boring. Yeah. So you guys have to disagree on something. Disagreeing on something doesn't mean that you guys don't love each other. It's not the case. It's just that it's the reality of life. Like, how would you guys not argue on something? Or maybe like this one try to like, maybe your husband tried to surprise you to cook food, and then maybe the food doesn't come out nice. You guys, I mean, as long as you guys are living together, there's no how. Or even driving past, in short, anyway, you guys must argue. So don't get into a relationship or don't get into marriage and feel that it's going to be all rosy. There will be no arguments. If you argue, if you quarrel. And apart from that, people have different backgrounds. I was trying to say before, like, okay, maybe your husband came up from a different background, that they believe certain kind of worship or certain way of doing things, and you came from another, and so you guys coming together, you have different views about particular things. So there is just no way you guys are not going to fight or argue. Let me not fight, physical fight, to like argue about some things that you don't agree with. So it's not possible. A complete absence of conflict in a relationship simply means that you guys are not addressing so many issues. Like, always you overlook. I'm not saying you should overlook something, but there are some things that need to be addressed, especially when it comes to your feelings, especially when your partner does something that you don't like. I am of the opinion that you guys need to iron it out. But let's say maybe you have maybe a third party in the house that is not other than you and your husband, that if the kids don't come yet, maybe you guys can iron it out later at night. Maybe when you like, honey, later in the evening, or whatever sweet names you call your wife or your husband, say, I didn't like that thing you did. Not in front of people who, you understand? Not that maybe your spouse makes you angry, when people are there and it's like, I don't like this thing you did, you start to show yourself. No, but don't let it slip that day. Just ensure that particular day you guys talk about it. I know one person has to swallow their pride and call the other person attention. If not, if you guys don't, you feel that you guys are not going to have conflict at all, that's not the case. So there's going to be conflict. So you must address the conflict. But to say you get into marriage and feel that there's no conflict, then you're not ready for that marriage. You are not just so ready. People feel that living separate lives brings you together. You know what? Like, you don't have to live your own life. Do you understand? Like, you might have your hobbies. I have my hobbies. Like, my husband likes comedy a lot. My husband has spent the whole day, listening to comedies and all that. But that's not me on a good day. Like, or sometimes I just try to like meet in between. Like, when he's watching those videos, maybe when he's back from business and all that, I can just join with him and then also follow along and laugh with him. But don't feel that like you guys having different interests, is going to bring you guys together. It's not. So if you have different things that you're interested in and your partner is not interested, you guys have to like find a way to meet in between. If not, you rather will just be drifting away from each other. So you have your own friends, they have their own friends. Then at some point or other, you can marry. Like me, my husband, like mostly all my friends are my husband's friends. Can you imagine that? Almost all my friends are his friends. So you guys should not just lead separate lives. I know you might have different hobbies, interests, but it makes more sense whereby you like a particular thing and he likes a particular thing, and then so sometimes like you could just come for my fun interest things, and you can also go for his own fun interest. But that way it makes us like more compatible, not like one is gradually drifting away from from the marriage. Constructive criticism helps your relationship. That's yes. There's a way somebody might like. I did public speaking school. Like I just graduated a few days ago. Okay, I don't know when this video is gonna come up. Okay, so constructive criticisms can actually make or mar your relationship. So don't feel that because you're in love, then the reality, because it's always like sweet coated, sugar coated all the time. Like you can't even have a constructive criticism. Like maybe you do something and then you expect your husband or your wife to always tell you, oh, tick, 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 that you're correct. You can actually have a constructive criticism. Like he or she can really tell you, your partner is more or less supposed to be like a mirror to you, to tell you, oh, this is because like right now I'm sitting here, I can't see my back. I don't know whether the back of my clothes is rumpled or something, although I iron it. So like your partner is supposed to like be the one to watch your back, to give you a constructive, like tell you, oh, this thing you did is not good. So it's left for you to say, okay, is either you take it or you don't take it. So constructive criticism will always come out. Your partner will disagree or agree with you on certain things. So it's just about for you to pick the lesson and then you move on. But to say whether it will occur in the marriage, definitely it will occur. Yes, you guys have arguments either about finances, either about food, either on how much to save. Why would you not have? Life happens, so you guys must have this conversation. How much you're supposed to spend in a week on food, which school are the kids going to go to. So there are different topics that are going to come. So it's just for you to have a constructive, argument or criticism, and ensure that if your partner is having a hard time understanding what you're trying to say, that you could take time to like get them to your page to understand what you're trying to talk about. Or whether criticism is going to come up, it is sure going to come up. Just that you don't make your partner feel bad in as much as maybe they don't understand what you're trying to say at first. So it's for you to like keep explaining until they get to understand better. As simple as that. Yeah. Jealousy is important for a passionate relationship. On the contrary, people feel that if a man is not jealous or a woman is not jealous of you, that they don't love you. On the contrary, I feel that if someone is, yes, naturally we are wired, like maybe you see your man with another woman and you don't know who the person is, the least you can do is just give him benefit of doubt. Or one principle that I have applied that helps me is like I count from 20 to 0. By the time I count 20, 19, 80, like that anger would have calmed down. So I could like get my husband, like tell him who is this, or he can like may walk up to like here to explain who the person is. So, but for you to feel that you could just unnecessarily get jealous over things that you shouldn't, on the contrary, I feel that getting jealous is more or less like you not having self-confidence, or let me not say self-confidence. Let me say like you're having insecurity problems. Do you understand? So you shouldn't have insecurity problems. It's just for you to tell your husband or your spouse or your wife that, oh, it's not the case, or you just have a misconception about this. You know that. But jealousy is good. Sometimes it's good in relationship, but don't overdo it. You know, sometimes even yourself, you can, when you're over jealous, can even drive the man away. Can slowly drift the man away gradually, or even the woman away. Don't always like every little thing that is you shouldn't even get angry over. You just get angry. So on the contrary, jealousy is like more or less like how you're having insecurity. But I'm not saying that the little jealousy is not good or is good. I mean, I like when my husband is kind of like, why did you do this? Who was that? You understand? But not like in that kind of light that it looks so immature and all that. Who doesn't like a little jealousy? Just a little. Just a little. Number 9. You might think that you have a better relationship if your partner changes. Hey, African men. Do African men really change? The last thing, you'll be so disappointed if you think that you're going to get into a marriage and change a man. Like this one, I'm telling you, sisterly, like this one is a sister talking to a sister. You will be so disappointed if you feel that you're getting into marriage. You've seen in the broad daylight. People have a saying that, or there's an adage that says that it's in the daytime you look for a black goat. Because you know in the daytime now, like it's bright. Like right now I'm recording this video now. What's the time now? Okay, dot 12. Okay, it is now that you can see everything the way it is. You can see that this clothes I'm wearing now is maroon. You can see that my mic is black and all that. So it is my dad adage says that it's in daytime that you look for a black goat, meaning that. Before, let me relate it to what I'm trying to say now. If you see a man that drinks and you feel that when you get married to him, you're going to change him or convert him from an alcoholic to a non-alcoholic man, you're on your own. That means you should just be ready to pray, do the fasting and prayer by yourself. Yes, be ready. Don't get into a relationship and think that you're going to change any man. What I'm saying so is a man. Because this man is just, he's like you, and this way men have this discussion that when you start a woman is trying to like correct you and say don't do this, do that you're trying to be controlling. They read different meanings to like when you're trying to like tell him, oh, this is not the way it's supposed to be done, or this is not supposed to be, except a man that is already open-minded and is so objective, he has a mind of his own. If not, hey, don't try it to feel that you can get into marriage that you're going to change the man. You're not going to change him. If he wants to change, he will change himself. But you don't even saying, I told you to do this thing, you did not do it. If not, you just have high blood pressure. Like I'm telling you as a woman, like a sister. Don't get into the marriage. Whatever you see is what you get. Whatever you see. If the man is romantic from day one, I hear ladies stating that, oh, no PDA, like a public display of affection. If your man is not a man of PDA before you marry him, don't expect him to change you. He's not going to change. You don't have high blood pressure. You will die for nothing. I'm serious. Or if your man is not romantic, you say you want your man to be romantic, you're on your own. No? You're necessarily just going to be making demands that are so unrealistic that you will never get. So don't enter a relationship and think that the man is going to change. He's not going to change you, or even you woman to change. Change into what? Please that. I be chameleon. You understand? But with prayers, I'm not saying some like especially like it's like some bad habits that maybe is into women, is humanizing and all that. So you can pray about it, but even as much as you're praying, you need to be practicable about it. Not your man is cheating on you and you're going to be praying. I'm not saying the prayer is not good, but let him understand your standards. It's a no-no for you. That infidelity is not an option. I believe that if I as a woman can keep myself, then you as well can keep yourself. Yes. So don't condone anything that you don't want. Do you understand? Any habit that you don't want. But you don't just walk. You don't see it from day one and say, when we marry, we go change, we'll manage. Don't manage some things. There are some things that should not be managed. Do you understand? There are some things that is a no-no that shouldn't be managed. Yeah. happy couples feel happy all the time. It's not the case, so my dear. Happy couples don't feel happy all the time. Oh. There are some times that maybe you wanted to go shopping and the funds is not there, or you wanted to go girls or whatever thing, like the funds are not there. You want to start a new business and maybe the money you guys were expecting is not coming. So don't expect that it will always be like fun, fair, like always happy, excitement all the time. Reality check. It can't always be happy. Even in life, you cannot be happy. Even if you're in your own family, so you check it out now. Even when you're in your own family, maybe like your mom, your dad, your siblings, is it every time you guys should be happy? There are sometimes like they'll cook food, you don't like the food. So how much more in marriage of two separate people that came from different backgrounds coming together in the name of marriage? No, you can't always be happy all the time. It's not possible. That is not reality. So don't get into marriage and feel that, oh, it's gonna be jamboree all the time. We're gonna be excited. Oh, butterflies in our stomach. Oh, all the time. Oh, enjoyment. It's not. It's not. You can't always be happy all the time. It's not possible. That's not the reality. Soulmate. Hey, soulmate. What? Which kind of soulmate? For someone to be your soulmate, that there's a price to be paid, though. You guys have to work together. You guys have to like put in efforts. Do you understand? For you guys to be called soulmates. It's not because you're just marriage brought you guys together. You guys must have gone through, hell. You guys must have gone through the thick and thin. Gone through when there was no money, and you still stayed. You still believed in this man that had no future, that looked like he had no future, that had no job, and all of a sudden he had a job, or that probably had no bed, except had no mattress, and he still accepted. Do you understand? To marry him, having hope that things will get better. Do you understand? From nothing to something. The best way to explain this is someone being your soulmate from nothing to something. That the future looked like nothing, like looks so blurry, so dark, like nothing good can come out of it. Then all of a sudden you believe. That's when you can have your soulmate. So don't feel that just getting into marriage will make him or her your soulmate. It's not so. It's not the case. There's work to be done. You have to work towards it to make your husband your soulmate. Yes, so soulmates are not discovered though. They are created. It's two people coming together to determine that they want to be soulmates by their actions, by the things they do together, by being open. Yes, no lies, by being faithful. There are so many things that both of you have to do to show that you guys are soulmates. And in that way, even in your dreams, God can just reveal things to you. Yes, that's the only way you guys can be soulmates. But don't feel that, just getting married, just wearing the ring has made you soulmates. It's not the reality. It's not. As a matter of fact, you're dreaming. Yes, so you're in the dream world. You're not in the reality world. Marriage counseling should be the last. Of my opinion, if you ask me, you don't have to wait until you have conflict in your marriage before you see a marriage therapist. Because why? In this Nigeria where we are, it's so stressful. Things are getting so expensive. If you can just relate from the time of since 2020 during the lockdown to now, things are okay. The other day, somehow, like I didn't know that I didn't have much rest. I traveled, so I just got back. I had just like 2 cups of rice left in the house, and my daughter was back for the midterm break, so I needed to like make food for us to eat. And usually, like 3 of us, we cook like 3 to 4 cups of rice for us to eat. So I had to like cross over to buy to the local shop next to us to buy rice. And guess what? They said it's 250 naira. Before the lockdown, how much used to be rice? Rice used to be whether 70 naira or something. So as they get 250 naira, can you see the big difference? Can you guys just see the big difference? On the contrary, I am of the opinion that it is not only when you have conflict in your marriage you need to see a marriage counselor or a marriage therapist. Because why? The world itself is crazy. Things are getting so expensive. Things are so happening. Even the world itself is crazy. Depression happening everywhere. So there are so many things. You can be depressed from your place of work. You can be depressed either like your partner is not giving you attention, or is not bringing enough funds, or is not talking enough, or not communicating enough. So many things. Don't think that it's only when you have problems in your mind that you need to see a therapist. It's not. You need to see a marriage counselor even while everything is going smoothly, so that he or she would have like tutored you guys in such a way that should such a problem pop up in future, you guys will just really know how to handle it. So don't wait. It's not the last resort. It's not when you guys start fighting, issue of infidelity or this one or that one, then you start running. Where is a marriage therapist? I am of the opinion that you should even see a marriage therapist even while everything is going smooth in the relationship, because you guys will like be having discussion, or this is what my partner did. I don't know. So you guys can understand yourself better, like bringing a third party to like help you guys to like understand or to communicate better, that way. So I don't feel it's only when you have problems that you need a marriage therapist. It should actually be part of to-do list. Just like you guys go out to have dinner, have lunch. I mean, you should pay someone to like ensure that you guys are still on the right track. Because you never can tell. You see someone like drink poisonous things, the next day they are gone. So many things happen. Even issues of people like taking their lives. Do you know where they, as in how they got to that point in the first place? So to ensure that you don't get to that point, ensure that you see a therapist, or if it's not even a therapist, if your pastor can do a good job, or even a friend that is a therapist, or can someone that's like a mentor to you, this is fine. But don't just feel that it's only when you're more or less like have a challenge is when you meet the marriage therapist. It has to be part of the project from day one. Yes, it has to be part of it. So, people, I hope I'll be able to debunk these 12 common misconceptions we have about marriage, because marriage is actually the reality, not what you watch in movies. They make it look like fairy tale, like everything is all perfect. Everything is not all perfect, too. When reality sets in, hey, it is you and your husband, though. On the day of your wedding, you see people, everybody, your family, persons, your extended family, your friends. Hey, hey, hey. After that wedding, you and your husband are holding yourself. That's all I go do. So it's not a fairy tale. There's a price we paid. There's commitment. There's sacrifice to be made. So if you do all these things, you're gonna have a perfect marriage. So guys, let me know if I've been able to communicate in this video, and give this video a thumbs up if you like this video. Let me know if you want me to put up more content related to marriage like this. So until the next one, I love you. Bye.